I'm Dr. Betty Emeka Obasi, the administrator, Abia State Eye Health Management Bureau. The bureau was established in the month of July by the executive order of His Excellency Dr. Alex Gov Otti'S in recognition of the critical role that the eye health plays in the broader spectrum of the public health. He is a health-loving governor that is responsive and the responsible government. Because you know, we allotted 15% to health and we declared the state of emergency when we started. So I had taken out time to go around the state, the 17 local government areas, and we had 19 hospitals there that had eye health facilities attached to them. And what we saw was a sorry sight, dilapidated structures, dilapidated facilities. We found disenchanted doctors that had to go to work and there was no place for them to practice, yet they were in the system. Doctors that had to go to work and where they had to see patients, they had to go with their equipment to see patients, because we talked about 19 hospitals. I think about 14 of them didn't have equipment at all. We had just one, and that was the specialist hospital that had a place you could call a semi-clinic that was in operation. And what we did was take a report to His Excellency to say this is what the state of this is. And he said, give me a world-class eye center. And that was what we tried to do with the Abia, the Diagnostic and Specialist Center on Abia Road. Talking about the Abia Road on its own, because I think we've taken a brief of going around the place, critical gaps to be filled in different hospitals where as it concerns the eye. And then in Abia Road, there was another sorry site. The space was just too small for the number of patients they had. Just a small number of patients. You found them sitting on the ground. They had been dehumanized, they had been debased, and then you see the doctors come to work. There's really nothing to do. You see them sitting there. We had almost 23 doctors. That's what we meant in that place, eye doctors. There are just how many rooms for them to practice? What was the equipment on ground? There was really almost nothing. What we had there was not up to standards. When we talk about this, of course, with the back end and support of the governor, we're able to go in there. We retrofitted the place, expanded the place, got enough space for patients to sit. Today, if you get in there, you're happy that you have, and the patients themselves, you respect them as people when they come, not because of what they are. Because now I call the place a one-stop place. You have everybody can come in. It's standardized. The quality is where it should be. If you're very rich, you can come there. If you are one of those that we call the indigents, you can still come there. You get what you want, and at the same time, you come there. You come in the morning. You can get your glasses. We run the whole system in a go, and then you go home with your glasses. That's where we are with it. I can boldly say that in the Southeast, we have about the best hospital that you can go to for when you have eye issues. And I can buttress this with just one little example. We had the guy that had gone blind in Port Harcourt, and he comes from Imo State. Of course, quacks had tampered with him, and then he had gone blind. His cornea had been burnt. I felt this was a case to be taken up. Let's go. We could go arrest whoever did this and all that. When I asked them, where do you come from? Where did this happen? In Port Harcourt. Where are you from? I'm from Imo State. So do you know what that means? It means they were referred from Port Harcourt, Imo, and they are in Abia State. So it tells you the kind of structure we have put on ground there and the kind of equipment we have that can do it. So the minute we told him that he had gone blind, the cry was a cry of hopelessness, because where else would they go to? That was what it was. What we met on ground was them seeing 30 patients in a week. Monthly, that gives you an average of 120 patients they see. When we started off there, we now see in the minimum, we used to average 370 patients per week. Mathematically, that comes to about 1,400 plus every month. When you look at the IGI generated, I said prior to our taking our inception, the inception of this government, it was 500 to 600 that they have recorded, 1,000 that comes in as revenue generated. I said, when we took over, I said from the very inception, we started, if you look at the average of what we do now, from there, we've taken it up to 15 million per month. That's about 2,900% increment in terms of revenue generation. You might want to look at it that if you're making so much, are we affordable? Yes, we are affordable. We are accessible, and we have standardized the place. That is what the Bureau is about. That is what this government is about as a Bureau, is to make sure that there is quality assurance, and then we're upgrading, upscaling, and retrofitting, renovating hospitals to cover to bridge the critical gaps that is in the eye health space.
My name is Kingsley Agomo, the General Manager, Umuahia Capital Development Authority. When we resumed, we met Umuahia Capital Development Authority in a very deplorable state. Nothing was working. The facilities were not there. The office environment was nothing to write home about. An office that the only computer could not even function, and then the staff dedication was not there. For me, and for most people, UCDA was just known as Ndenkoda, and that was the only CV. Everybody talks about UCDA. And then again, UCDA, that their mandate is to ensure that the physical development of the capital city, the physical planning matters are taken care of. The city was not looking like a capital city. The city was nothing to write home about. Umuahia was like a glorified local government. The facilities, every facility in the city was down and out. The issue gates is like our Oshodi. Nothing works. The whole town was littered with potholes. The whole environment was not properly planned. The road network was not in good shape. The only thing you can use to identify where was everywhere was either motor park or a market. So the town was in a total bad shape. So what we did, from beginning was the support and assistance of His Excellency was to at least change the face of the office. We were able to, equip the office with computer gadgets. And then for today, we have over 6 computers in the office. And then we have another 6 to be installed any moment from now. And then what we did was to at least ensure that the data that we have is properly stored and secured. So all the building approvals before we came was all in hard copy. And then it was difficult to trace back or to even know how many approvals have been given within a period of time. So what we did in 2023 was to now scan and upload all the approvals that was issued in 2023 into our system. And then we went back to 2022, went back to 2021, and then going forward, we now said from 2024, every person coming for a building approval will come with a soft copy. So as we speak today, if you come with your building application, you will now come with a soft copy. So it's helped us to say within any space of time or within any period, this is the number of building approval that we've given. This number is for schools. This number is for hospitals. This number is for filling stations and other services. It also helps us in planning. And then it is easy for us, if somebody comes around, who can easily key in your name and know the state and page of the approval that has been given or your processing document has gotten to. This is something we've done, so far. And then again, we have also tried so much to decongest the city. Umuahia is so crowded. Umuahia is almost being choked up. So at Ishi Gates, it's like a mad place. So what we did was to now send a submission and a proposal to His Excellency so that we'll have the market relocated, to a new place. So we've gotten a location somewhere at Afara behind the Golden Guinea Breweries. And then the compensation has been paid. The fencing has commenced. The drawing of the market is ready. So we're going to have open shops and lock-up shops. And then any moment from now, hopefully early July, construction work will commence. And this will be a major milestone for the government through the support of His Excellency to give Umuahia a new face and a new life. Opened up the Library Avenue Road, which leads to the government house. This is something that we did from 2023. We've started engaging the managers on that stretch that operates on that Library Avenue. We engaged them in 2023 to get their buy-in, to get their support, so that within that period, we're able to now get them to demolish their fences, shift their ATM machine, and then that has enabled us to now expand our roads to a 4-lane. So today, if you pass through the Library Avenue, coming through the boulevard, you can see a new face of Umuahia. You can see a new city moving towards the government house. And then that traffic I used to have around the FMC has been eliminated by this infrastructure. And then the street lighting on that road has also been improved. Not only on that library, but even on the Abia road, the street that connects Rich Club through Abia line, is also being worked upon so that we have the entire space, and that's environment. The work is ongoing, and then hopefully within a few weeks, the work will be completed, well lit with solar lights. And that also will increase activities at night. Through the Ministry of Power, that the street lights within the city has been improved. Night activities has extended in Umuahia, and then that has increased the economic activity. People can stay beyond normal 7 o'clock. Before now, by 7 o'clock, Umuahia is shut down. But as you come out at 7, 8, 9, you see activities still on. Even at 10, you see people still moving around beyond 10. And again, we are also working towards restoring the encroachment. Most people before the advent of this government, people have encroached into school lands. Government College Umuahia, Big High School, Umuahia, so many schools, people just went and then encroached into the school land. That of Government College Umuahia, we've taken the bull by the horn. Most of the properties, especially the fences and some facilities, were pulled down, so that people will know that this is a school environment. It was so bad that people even demolished, iconic buildings within Government College Umuahia. So we are working with the old boys, and then and the Excellency has also given us the directive to ensure that all the lands that were encroached upon are recovered within the capital territory and returned back to the school. Within the office here, and then in the state, the state also approved a material testing laboratory. So equipment are being installed. It will be completed hopefully in the next 2 weeks. And the essence is to have every builder, either road construction, building properties, you have to bring your materials to the testing laboratory for the material to be tested, be it electrical materials, plumbing materials. So all these things need to be tested, and then for us, it will reduce the incessant building collapse that we used to experience within the states, even though we've not been experiencing so much, but we want to nip it, at the board. And then we also intend to follow it up, not just testing it and then it ends there. We'll also follow up, come to the site to ensure that what was given to you is what you also use it. And then again, we're also working so hard to ensure that the recklessness of having parks all over the town reduced to the barest minimum. If you go through every street, it's a motor park. So the Ohia Park, we're trying to recover that park and then return it back to the former glory. CSNC has approved for compensation to be paid to those that built facilities in that place. Because that place, the entire space has been defaced. So by the time we recover the space, all articulated vehicles along the Port Harcourt Enugu Highway around the tower, everybody will now be loading from the Ohia bus terminal. And then again, the state is also working to having a bus terminal within the former Gumabiri market. So that will also help to move every loading point to a particular location. And through our own submission, we are also working with the Nigerian Railways to now move their railway station within the bus terminal, so that you have the bus terminal and then you have the Nigerian Railway be co-located, so that passengers using the train can just disembark and then join the bus. And then those buses that are coming in from different parts of the state get to the bus side terminal, you come down and then join. So it's going to be very seamless and then makes the transportation much easier for the Abians. So this is to give the city a new look. This is to give Umuahia a new character, take Umuahia away from the stress the city has gone through. And recently, His Excellency has also given an approval for a new Umuahia city to be developed. So, and we are working on that. And then the State Executive Council has also approved the Mbarakuma axis for the new Umuahia capital city. So the committee has been constituted, and then they will soon go into work, and it's being coordinated from this office and being headed by the General Manager UCDA. So much is going on. And the idea of the new city, both city is already overstretched. So we needed to move facilities and then the development towards that direction. That's not to say that the old city will be left unattended to. Two will move or grow almost at the same time. And then we also intend to have the development stretch towards Umudike axis, towards the Bende axis, towards the Ofeme axis. So it's going to be a development that will be completely all-encompassing. Say this is a new city, but ours is going to be a more comprehensive approach that we're going to apply. So much is going on in all areas, and then you can notice that within the city too, modern bus shelters that people can use. We're expecting that any moment from now, the electric buses will now start being moving within the city. A lot is happening in Umuahia Capital Territory. And then we're also working towards removing unnecessary attachments that people put in their buildings. We have engaged the landlords, and then we have gotten their buy-in so that they will remove all the attachments. We have given them the specifications, we have given them the dimension that is 1.5 meters, so that every projection will not be more than 1.5. Having unnecessary projection and then attachments, we have given them a timeline, to remove those attachments. This is a government that has a human face to what we're doing. We always engage with the people, we get their buy-in, and then we are so glad that the cooperation we have received from them, we cannot quantify it. All this we've been able to do within 2 years, and then I believe in the next 2 years, what Abians are going to experience, especially people that reside in the Capital Territory, a lot is going to come your way. This is just the beginning. You've not seen nothing yet. Thank you very much.
My name is Philemon Asonyo Obonna. I'm the Honorable Commissioner for Environment and the State.
Please tell us what's happening here today.
What is happening here today is that the Executive Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Choma with the OFR, is flagging off the road, Obe, Omudog, Owaza Road. It's flagging off the 11th March 2025 here in Obe, of our West Local Government area of Abia State.
You are from this local government?
I'm from this local government. I'm from Owaza, where the roads being flagged off and next. This road takes you from Obe, Omudoga, Owaza to AIIP, Abia Innovation Industrial Park, which His Excellency had a groundbreaking on the 30th of September 2023, barely 4 months after assuming the office.
All right, so how do you feel about what's happening here?
Great. I feel so great. Upper West local government area is only oil producing local government in Abia State. But Abia State is an oil producing state, is Upper West local government. Unfortunately, we have been deprived of developmental projects, government go. And I can tell you the significance of this road. Obe, Owaza Road. This is the traditional road to Owaza. In 1950s, when British Petroleum came for oil exploration, this is the road they plied into Owaza. Apart from the helicopters hovering over the head, this is the major road they plied. Quite unfortunate that after 69 years, no government had remembered to give this road the right of its place, except now Dr. Alex Choma is in government.
My name is Eda Goodluck Wanakolonwoju, the President General of Asa Development Union, Asaland.
Which local government?
Ukwa West local government, Abia State.
All right. Please, can you tell us what is happening here today?
Okay, today we are marking the flag of Awazo Model by Obehe Road. 11.1 kilometer road given to us by the best governor of Abia State so far since the creation of Abia State. So we are flagging up the road today in Asaland. So it's a welcome development.
All right. So how do you feel about what's happening here today?
We feel good and we are so much happy for seeing this. Although this is not the first one, he has commissioned a road before, Obehe Omokomini Road. There are other projects going on. Very soon they will complete. We'll come back again as a development union hall. Some road and the other projects were going on. So any moment from now, governor is coming back to Asaland to do the needful. We are very much happy for him.
I was with friends in about 2-3 last week for ministers' conference, and everywhere we entered was so clean and beautiful. It was like we wanted to recreate London in Abia. I am not ashamed to say that because my essence of being in politics is effective, efficient, and good governance. And from wherever you came, using your personal resources and so on, it has shown it's a very wonderful ambition. It's manifest, very clear. The sanitary situation is beautiful. I have pensioners as friends. Today, as I'm living here today, one is waiting for me in Hawaii to take me out. And yet it wasn't the case 2 years ago. So why wouldn't I be happy that you are keeping people alive? Somebody shout hallelujah.
The administration of Governor Alex Otti, OFR, inherited an agric sector that suffered decades of neglect and failed execution of programs and projects that would have helped the state to attain food sufficiency and security. To turn things around for good in the sector, the governor appointed Dr. Cliff Abezi, first as Special Advisor on Agriculture and later as Commissioner for Agriculture, replacing Professor Monica Ironkwe, who led the ministry before him. There are numerous achievements in the agricultural sector in the last 24 months of the people-centered and focused leadership of Governor Alex Otti OFR. The highlights are: 1. The development of the agribusiness roadmap and strategic plans for Abia State's agric sector in line with His Excellency's vision. 2. 300 Abians were selected from the 184 wards and sponsored to the CSS integrated farms in Nasarawa State by the Abia State government to be trained and exposed to all forms of mechanized farming and the entire value chain of agriculture. The beneficiaries have been empowered with interest-free loans and provided with all needed support to set up their farms. 3. Successfully revoked and recovered the state plantations that were leased out under questionable conditions, set up interim ministerial management committee to run the rubber plantation and pending the result of the tender publication for new credible investors. 4. Signed MOU with Nimble Shore on the management of 10,000 hectares oil palm development project valued in excess of $120 million at Ukwa East. 5. Rolled out the statewide Farmers Enumeration Program to build a credible database on farmers and agriculture generally to have a dynamic agric map of the state. 6. 130 youths empowered along cassava and rice enterprises actively in their businesses with an average of 0.7 hectare of arable land in either cassava or rice, and also contributing to food security with a projected average yield of 2.5 tons per 0.7 hectare for rice and 17.5 tons per 0.7 hectare for cassava per cropping season. 7. Trained and supported 10 pilot beneficiaries on biogas as alternative source of energy. 8. Commenced the planting of rice on 150 hectares pilot rice cultivation program, currently expanded to 300 hectares at Owarinta. Mobilized about 1,000 hectares at Indiokere Kabam for state's rice cluster in growers' rice farming scheme. Working with the Abia State Open Multi-Purpose Cooperatives Society with a target production of 1 million bags of rice each planting yields, with a plan for sustained year-round planting and harvesting to achieve food security. 9. Currently setting up rice clusters in various communities in the state's rice belts of Arochukwu, Bende, Ohafia and Isukwata local government areas. This is targeted at creating active farming cooperatives and clusters for our 8,500 hectares rice cultivation program. 10. Construction of 41 access and feeder roads in different communities or CAPs to ease the evacuation of agricultural produce from the farms to the markets. 11. Built toilets, ramps, and solar-powered boreholes wet markets in 34 communities. 12. Empowered 4,379 incubator beneficiaries along the agro-enterprise value chain of rice, cassava, poultry, and palm oil within 100 communities in participating 10 local government areas, and also in partnership with 141 incubators. 13. Established 34 school gardens in 34 primary schools across 34 communities. These are minimal achievements have been recorded in the agri sector in the last 24 months, and various partnerships and investments are being explored for the mutual benefit of the state and interested investors. It is still early days in the agricultural value chain in Abia State, but the initiatives and programs are intentional and robust. The targets and outcomes are predefined with work plans to achieve them. Abia State has been on the global map in the last 24 months for the right reasons. To the glory of God.